Welcome viewers, Dr. JW, The Irreversible Body Gamble, Episode 11, Medicine's Greatest Question. Every great professional eventually arrives at a question that defines it. For engineering, it is whether a structure will stand. For law, it's whether justice has been served. For science, it's whether evidence supports the conclusion. For medicine, the defining question is different. What best serves the long-term well-being of the person entrusted to our care? And that question has quietly echoed beneath every chapter of this journey. What best serves the long-term well-being of the person entrusted to our care? We began by asking when the human body stopped being understood as something biologically permanent. We explored the remarkable organization of the human organism before identity, the distinction between subjective experience and biological observation, the expanding capabilities of modern medicine, the behavioral pathways that precede significant decisions, the reality of irreversible interventions, and the limits of biological reconstruction, the ethical demands of informed consent, and the burden carried by permanence and the necessity of caring for the whole human person. Viewers, none of these questions exist in isolation. Together they converge upon medicine's greatest responsibility, not simply to heal, not simply to innovate, not simply to respect autonomy, but to exercise all three with wisdom, humility, honesty, and proportionate care. Modern medicine possesses powers that previous generations could scarcely imagine. Those powers have relieved suffering, restored function, prolonged life, and transformed countless futures, and they deserve recognition and gratitude. Yet extraordinarily, capability also creates extraordinary responsibility. The more permanent an intervention, the more comprehensive the assessment, the greater the uncertainty, and the greater the transparency. The more profound the lifelong implications, the more rigorous the ethical reflection. Viewers, medicine reaches its highest calling when it chooses between compassion and science. It reaches its highest calling. Not when it chooses between compassion and science. It reaches its highest calling when compassion is guided by evidence. Evidence is interpreted with humility, and every decision remains centered upon the enduring welfare of the individual patient. Now, this series has never been about reducing people to biology, nor has it been about dismissing biology in favor of subjective experience. It's been about recognizing that responsible medicine must thoughtfully engage with both, because every generation inherits new medical power. Every generation must also decide how wisely that power will be exercised. And that leaves only one final movement, the question that has quietly followed us from the very beginning. Has the human body become the greatest irreversible gamble medicine has ever undertaken?